Hello, people. Welcome to yet another introductory tutorial in Python. This must be like the 10,000th Python tutorial that I'll be recording, but let's hope this one sticks and let's just, hope for the best. Now, how do you get started in Python is the most common question that I get asked a lot of times. Okay, it's something that shows up again and again, even in academia. Maybe the community, someone would ask me, hey, man, how do I start with Python? And I just tell them that, hey, there's a playlist on the YouTube. You just go there and you check it out. And I personally think that learning Python is something that it's a back and forth process. So you do some tasks that I give you, and then you come back to me with the tasks, and then I try to evaluate the tasks. But sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes I don't have enough uh, time frame or enough bandwidth to do that. Well, regardless, what I have planned to do is I'm going to record some videos. I'm going to let this recording go as much as I can, as much as I can physically, go ahead and talk. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to let this video keep going, keep rolling until you have enough, understanding of Python. And then maybe I'll record another follow-up video. And then maybe another one, and so on and so forth. And we'll keep on trying to do this until you understand Python, right? Now, first things first, what exactly is Python? So, for a lot of you, I am pretty sure you guys understand the basics. And the basic part is Python is just a programming language. It's a programming language that exists. It's one of the oldest programming languages. In fact, a lot of people think that Python is a very modern language, but it's not. It was actually, I believe, developed in like 1990s or something. Once again, do not quote me on the exact number, but that once again does not matter. Okay. Now, I'm not gonna teach you, that hey, this is how you install Python. This is what you do, because you should already know that. So, for example, if I just open up my browser, you already should know how that works, right? So you can just go to python3.org. Sorry, not Python 3. Python 3 is like the actual version that we use. But you can just go to python.org, and here you can just go to download section and you can just click here. For you, it's gonna be Windows, so please download the Windows version. Get the 64-bit version because that is probably what you're using. My suggestion is do not go for Python 3.12. Some things do not work here. My suggestion is go for Python 3.11.9. That is a stable version, kind of. It's more stable than Python 3.12, and most of the things do not break, and it's all well and good, and everything works fine. So download that, go through the entire installation, and during the installation there should be an option which says, hey, add Python to path. Just make sure that you are check marking this, just to make sure that everything is working fine. Now, the other thing that you will need for Python, which is going to be very obvious, is that you're going to need some sort of a text editor, or you're going to need some sort of a IDE or integrated development environment. I believe that's what it's called. Anyway, so in my suggestion, Visual Studio Code should be fine. You can just download this, and you can download it. You can actually use it on the web as well. So if you click on the web version, it's gonna work. VSCode.dev. Once again, I think this is brilliant, but you can do it. My suggestion is download it for your system. Make sure you are downloading Visual Studio Code and not just Visual Studio, the entire thing. And that's it. Once you download it, it's going to figure out a lot of things automatically. So, for example, in the extensions, if you just go to extensions, you can just click on Python. You can just install it. It's like the most popular one. So you can just install Python from here, and then you can just let it take care of everything. It might every now and then when you try to run code, it's going to tell you that, hey, what do we want to use as Python path or whatever. It's going to show something from the top. It just goof around with it, try out new things. I cannot actually just show what's it going to show on Windows because I don't use Windows. But just guys, just try it out. Okay, that should be fine. Try it out, experiment as much as you can. Even if you break a few things, that's okay. You're going to learn something new, so that is completely fine. Keep on breaking stuff. Anyways, with that out of the way, I am not going to be using VS Code. I don't think it's that good. What I'm going to be using is something known as Z. Now, this is a very simple thing. First and foremost, you need a new file. So I'm just gonna, click on not save. Let's just take this file, let's just delete it, and we'll call it a day. Okay. Now, first and foremost, what you need is a new file. So I'm just gonna hit Command N for me. For you, it's gonna be Control N, but we can figure it out. And then I'm gonna save this file as mark1.py. Now, always remember, every single Python file always has to end in the .py extension. That's how you know that it's a Python file. Simple as that. So I'm going to hit enter, and this is how my file looks like. Now, in the Z editor, I'm using Vim key binding. So I'm using Vim key binding. So basically, I can actually do a lot of cool stuff. So for example, let me just type hello world, how is this working? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste it a bunch of times. Now, usually we can just use the arrow keys to actually, go around. But because I'm in Vim mode, I can just, jump around words. I can just jump around words, or maybe I can just, let's say I want to jump around 3 words back. So I can just do 3b and that's it. You can maybe see it at the bottom. It's going to show you what I'm trying to do. So I can just write 3b, whatever. The point is, I can use visual mode for that as well, but that's not the point. Okay, I'm using Vim. So there are going to be certain keyboard shortcuts that I'll be using. For example, if I just do DD, it's going to delete the entire line. How cool is that, right? Anyways, you can learn Vim in your own time. This is not a Vim tutorial. In fact, I'm not good at Vim. But this is what a normal text editor looks like. Okay, I'm going to increase the size for you, and let's just start. The most basic Python program that anyone can ever make is a very simple hello world. So I'm just going to write print, and we'll just write hello world. That's it. That's your first Python program. That's legit. Now I can just save it. Once I save it, now in VS Code you will have a button which is like a run button, so you can just like run it. In my case, I'm just going to use the terminal. So here I have a terminal. I can just write Python 3, and I can just name the file which is my Python file. So this is how you run things in Python. You can just write Python, and then you basically just write the name of the file which contains the code, and that's it. So I'm going to hit enter, and this is my output. It says hello world, right? Now, I'm assuming all of you watching this video at this point, you can just do this much, right? This is fine. If you do this much, go ahead, put it on your LinkedIn that, hey, now you're a Python programmer. Go ahead and put it up everywhere, in your resume that you're a Python programmer. Sure, that's what a lot of people do. And if that's what you want to do, that's it. The video ends here for you. That's it. Cool. You have Python. You know Python. But if you're someone who actually, gives care in the world about, what else cool things can we do, then keep watching. Now, this is how, by the way, print statements work. It's a very basic thing. So you just print, and then whatever you write inside actually shows up. So I can actually write hello Easterly, and let's just put the mouse somewhere else. Save the file, and just run the program again. So once again, Python 3 mark 1, enter, and now it says hello Easterly. Okay, I can also run the same thing from the terminal. So if I just bring my terminal over here, if I just write Python 3, and if I just do mark1.py, hit enter, it's going to say hello Easterly over here as well. I don't care about it, so I'm just going to let it go. I just use the inbuilt terminal. Now, let's remove this. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, now other things. So what else can we do? Well, what we can do is maybe we can actually use variables. Now, what are variables? Variables are like these storage boxes where you can put some information. So, for example, I can just write box number 1 equals 5. Box number 2 equals 10. That's it. It's a very simple thing, right? So 5 goes inside box 1, 10 goes inside box 2, and then maybe what we can do is we can just actually try to print out box 1. So if I just write box 1, and let's just put quotes over here. Let's save the file, and let's try to run it again. So let's just do Python 3 mark 1, Now, what do you think? The answer should be, now you have a few options. Let's just discuss few options. So what will be the answer be? So what will be the answer? Okay. Is it going to be 5? Is it going to be box 1? Is it going to be 10? Is it going to be box 2? Which among these 4 options do you think is the actual answer? Now, obviously, if you were in a single, if we were actually face to face, I would ask you this question, but I'm assuming some of you are going to say 5 because that's what's the value of box 1. Some of you are going to say box 1 because that is what is inside the single quotes. Well, in fact, whoever said that, hey, box 1, yeah, that's the correct answer. So if I just run it, it's going to say box 1. Now, you might be thinking, hey, Aman, but we made a variable. Aren't you supposed to print out the variable? Well, no, not exactly. So what is happening is, because this, whenever you put like single quotes around something, that is what we call a string. So this at this moment is a string. So I'm just printing out box 1. I can just say box 12 and it will still work. It will now just say box 12. Because it's a string, whatever is inside the single quotes will be printed as it is. Okay, that is what I want you guys to understand. That is the concept that you are supposed to understand. Okay, now the moment I remove these single quotes from here, and I can just write box 1, and if I run the program now, okay, oh, we didn't save the file. Always, kids, remember, save the file. So if I do this, now it's going to say 5, which means right now, without the single quotes, I am referring that, hey, give me what is inside box 1. Okay, I'm referring to the fact that whatever value is inside box 1, give me that value. I want to print out that value. This time I'm not printing the string, I'm not printing the text box 1, but I'm printing the value inside box 1. So if I actually make it box 2, save it, and let's just try to run it. Now it's going to say 10. That's it. Nothing fancy. Now it's giving me the value of box 2. Okay. Once again, if I put double quotes around it, for some reason the double quotes are coming in pair, but let's just remove one of them, save it, and if I run it, okay, now here it says box 2. It's not giving us the value. It's not giving us 10, but now it's giving us box 2. Okay. Let's make another change, like a very small one. Let's just say box 3 is now equal to box 1 plus box 2. That's it. I'm saying that, hey, box 3 will now be equal to box 1 and plus box 2. And I'm going to say that, hey, why don't you give me the value of box 3? So if I save it and if I just run the code again, it's going to say 15. Okay. Oops. Yeah. It's going to say 15. That's it, because that is what the value is supposed to be, right? This 5 goes inside box 1. This 10 goes inside box 2, and then now you add them together, so like 5 and 10, and now you have box 3, right? Now, would you like to imagine what would happen if this was the case? Single quotes, single quotes. Okay, now, what do you think is going to happen? If I run the program, is it going to say 510? Is it going to say 15? Well, if I actually run the program, because both of them are string, like this is string, this is what you call a string variable, and this is also a string. And if you ever put a plus sign between the strings, if you run the program, it just puts them together. That's what string concatenation means. You just concat two strings. That's it. Add them together, as in put them next to each other. That's it, right? But if I actually put, let's say, a string over here, okay, and let's just save it. Let's run the program again. Now it's going to say box 3 because this is what I did. Okay, hopefully this is making sense to everyone. It's not that complicated. It's actually like super easy. I'm tempted to say barely an inconvenience. Whoever watches pitch meetings, that's a reference. Anyways, this is what we are doing. We're just adding these single quotes, and every single time we add these single quotes, it becomes a string. And always remember, a string plus a string is always going to give you a string. Now, once again, if I remove this from here, and I can remove it from here, save the file, run it again, it's going to say box 1, box 2, as we already saw. Okay. Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to pause the video right now and actually try to do these things yourself. I want you to just write this code, and I want you to go through every single permutation and combination that you can think of, because it's quite important. And it's quite important that you guys experiment. It's quite important that this makes sense to you inside your head intuitively. Okay, that's the entire point. If you're never going to learn Python, you see, watching a video, and I'm once again, I'm killing my own viewership at this point, but guys, listen, watching a video to learn Python is not gonna work unless you actually decide to get your hands dirty, until you actually decide to take out your laptop and start coding. There's no other substitute for it. I'm sorry, you can keep on watching Resource and Veritasium and all of those videos for hours and hours and hours, and if you watch some tech videos and all of that stuff, maybe you can watch MKBHD unbox another iPhone, but that's not gonna work until you actually sit your ass down, take out your laptop, and start coding. Okay, once again, that's what I want you guys to do. That's the first thing. Once again, we could also have changed a few parameters here. Okay, so let's just remove this, and okay, let's just save it. Let's just try to just run through one more permutation. And so the answer at this point, if you guys know, should be 5, because 5 was the value that goes to box 1, and now box 1 has the value of 5, which is now going inside box 3, and I'm asking that, hey, give me box 3, and I'm getting box 3. That's it. Now what happens, you guys must, this is a question that it should come to your head. What happens if I just try to ask for box 4? Okay, what's supposed to happen? What happens? Does the universe explode if I just ask that, hey, give me box 4? So if I just run, it's gonna give me an error. It's gonna be like, hey, listen, box 4 is not defined. Did you mean box 1? So Python errors are actually very useful. Every single time you encounter an error, please note that it is always going to be very helpful to you. So first of all, it is telling you that, hey, what file is the error in? Then it is going to tell you what line the error is in. It's actually very helpful. It's very communicating. It's telling you that, hey, it's in line 4. And we can see the error originates, tongue twister. The error is originating from line number 4. We know that. And it is also marking for us that, hey, listen, this is where the error is occurring. Like, it's actually even telling us at what exact point in the whole thing the error is occurring, and it's telling us, hey, listen, it's happening probably over here. You have messed something up, and it's gonna say like, hey, box 4 is not defined. What are you doing, you idiot? Change it. And it's also gonna let you know here as well. So errors are your best friend. Every single time you are coding, remember, errors help you cheat. Okay, errors will always help you cheat, because you might not remember how to write a program, but Python will prompt you. Okay, so as I keep on saying, and my students are tired of listening to this, but errors are your best friend. Save the program. This is how fixing a bug feels like. You just edit a few variables, and now things are working. And if I just run it, it now says 5. There's no error. All is good to go. Okay. Hope this made sense. I think we are somewhere over like a 17-18 minute mark. Before I end this video, I want you guys to experiment with one more thing. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just write a few things. So for example, let's just say A equals input hello. Let's just write enter your name, because that makes much more sense. Okay, enter your name, and then I'm going to put a colon over here. It's going to make sense in a while why, and I'm also going to put a space over here, and then I'm going to just write print hello. And once again, I can use multiple print statements. Nothing is stopping me from doing that. A. That's it. It's a very simple program. I'm saying, hey, input, enter your name. Once again, that's a very funky statement. You might have not seen it before. And I'm just saying hello, and then I'm just trying to print out A. Now, what is it gonna print out? Let's run the program. Okay, so if I just, for example, do Python 3 mark1.py, if I hit enter, it actually prints out enter your name, but as you can see, the program has not ended. It is actually kind of stuck, right? The program has not ended and it is kind of stuck. And if I actually do spacebar, I can move my cursor, but if I keep on doing backspace, there's a space. So in fact, it actually printed out the space, right? The input statement is actually printing out whatever you write here. And it says exactly that, if you notice, right? Enter your name, Y is capital, all of that stuff. So let me just write my name. So if I just write AMAN, well, nothing is happening. Maybe let's try hitting enter. So if I hit enter, what is going to happen is this line, the first line was actually stuck. It was waiting for our input. It was asking us that, hey, you give us the input. And once I gave the input, it actually decided to run line number 2 and line number 3. And as we can see, line number 2 ran and it says hello. And line number 3 is where the fun begins, because line number 3 had print A. Whatever is the value of A, you print it. But if you notice in line number 1, we actually put the value of A, and that was Aman. Like I wrote my own name, and that went inside the variable A, then I'm just printing out the variable A, right? Hopefully this is making sense to you, because this is actually, if I don't know if you guys realize, but this is a big deal. We can now start creating programs where we are taking information from the user. Okay. And I think that's a very, very, very big deal. Now, what I want you guys to do is very simply, watch this video. When you're done watching this video, create your own calculator of sorts. Now, I know a lot of you guys are like, already smart enough, already know, how Python works and all of that stuff. But I still urge you to create a very basic calculator, and all you have to do is you just have to use input statements from the user. This is a dynamic program. The program depends on what the user gives it. Maybe you can do a calculator. After that, what I want you guys to do is create a very simple program which will ask for your name, first name, last name, your address, and your phone number, and then you just print out that information back out. That's it. You ask for this information, you don't do any changes to it, and then you just print out the whole information back again. Okay, there are many fancy ways to do it, and believe me, there are like 10,000 different ways to do it, but this is what you do. This is your homework of sorts. Now, how do I check for the homework? Good question. Well, we have a community. We have a community on WhatsApp. We have a community on Discord. Now, we have a specific group, which is the programming group on WhatsApp. So it's a specific community. There will be links in the description. So you can actually check out the links in the description. Click on it and, just directly connect. And there is a programming group. And that's where I want you to submit. You can just submit your code. You can just submit your screenshot of the code. I would prefer if you submit the code and screenshot of the output. And if something is not working, do not worry. There are many other people who will love to help you, who would genuinely love to help you out without making you feel stupid. And I think that is very important. When you're starting out with programming, you do not want someone to make you feel stupid, because you are trying your best, and I totally understand that you are trying your best. Okay, so I can promise you there will be a safe environment. Please come in the group. Please show me your output, show me the code, and I would be more than happy to help you out there. Okay, that will be it for this video. We also have, before I end up, we also have a Discord. The Discord link will also be in the description. What you can do is on Discord, there's also a programming channel if you're more comfortable with Discord. But the thing is, I would be very slow at replying to Discord because I have WhatsApp on like 24/7, so you can expect near instant replies. But it's on Discord as well, and you can maybe use the forum feature there as well. Regardless, thank you for watching. Check the links in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.